Zoom and Councillor Kenley late. Okay. All right. So today is the 8th of July. It's amazing. And it's a regular Cardston Town Council meeting. We have some people in the gallery. And we will call the meeting to order by starting with the land acknowledgement. The town of Cardston acknowledges that we are located on traditional Blackfoot Confederacy territory. We have an agenda that is fairly comprehensive. Councillor Brown,
I make a motion to adopt the agenda this day, the 8th day of July, 2025.
thank you. All in favor? Thank you very much. Under question, Councillor Jensen will have something, and I have something from the Lions Club. Okay, we have a delegation. So from the Cardston Community Cycling Club, and we're happy to have you. So go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, as
Before you start, that park is fantastic down there. My grandkids are flying up and down that hill. And
you have seen it.
you guys have done a really, really good job out there. So,
Oh, awesome. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Yes, as Mayor Cronin mentioned, I'm here representing the Cardston Community Cycling Club in behalf of the C4 Grand Fondo. This is the third year that we have put on this event, and each year we have brought in roughly about 150 participants into Cardston. And the last year, and including this year, we've started doing kids races, which has brought in about 70 kids to enjoy in that atmosphere as well. And it's been awesome. The C4 Grand Fondo, sorry, Shem, you scroll down. Better go to the next two slides. Yeah, there's a picture of the event there, and the kid there in the kids event. So, oh, one more. There we go, perfect. Perfect. And so the bike park improvements, the C4 Grand Fondo is our sole fundraiser for the bike park. And this past year, we were able to bring in professional trail builders out of Golden, BC to enhance the bike park. And by doing that, so we put in the $20,000 to it to enhance the safety of the park because the trails are more professionally built, enhance the enjoyment and the visual appearance, as Mr. Court here had mentioned. They did a really good job of the visual effect of it, and it rides amazing. I was able to ride it for the first time last week, and it's awesome. All right, go to the next slide, Shanna. This is kind of a rough of what they did, a cut in of one of the trails, and then the next slide shows kind of the finished product of one of the trails that they did there. And as you can see, like they just did an amazing job with that. And so the community benefit on the next slide, Shem. So as I had mentioned, we bring about 150 plus people from out of town into Cardston. Each participant, we give them a $15 meal voucher for them to spend at participating restaurants to get their after meal after they're done riding. And so that is money that goes back into the community from the event. And so roughly around $2,200 goes back into the community from that. Many stay overnight at hotels and campgrounds, which is more money into the community as well. And this event roughly brings in about $12,000 a year to the bike park to help us enhance our trails and beautify it more and just do more with it. And so what we're asking is about the same as last year, $2,000 from the ECDEV committee to help us continue this building of the bike park and marketing and advertising for the bike event as well, to just hopefully just keep it growing and keep more participants coming into the beautiful area of Southern Alberta and especially Cardston. And so, yeah.
Good. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So your project was started with the Opportunity Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's something that is on a sliding scale. It's 60%, 40%, something like that, 20%.
Right.
So
yeah.
This year you are getting $1,200.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah.
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 So
correct. Yeah.
Are you telling me that last year we gave you $2,000 beside that? I
Uh,
didn't know that we did.
I believe it was through the ECTIV. So that was that grant that we applied for that gave us the decreasing amount each year, and then
Right.
the ECTIV committee gave that additional funding to the
Uh,
bike park.
Okay, so last year we funded you 2,000 extra through the dev
I
committee.
believe so. Yeah.
Okay, I understand. So is the money for the ECDEV last year, did you use it towards the park enhancement or did you use it for other purposes?
We use it for other purposes like marketing, to basically market the Grand Fondo around southern Alberta and like everywhere. So on social media, on the internet, through Google Ads and other websites, we can advertise the event, and it was used for that.
Okay, so that's what I understood. Because in your presentation here, you say it's going to go back into the bike park. So I was thinking, is that for advertisement or is that for the bike park? I was a little confused.
It's mainly for advertisement. Some of it does go into the bike park. Essentially, anything that's given to us just helps build the bike park even more. So if that $2,000 is used for advertising, it's $2,000 less we have to use in that aspect that we can put towards the bike park. So
Okay.
essentially, everything is put towards the
Yeah.
bike park. Yeah.
No, it's just because the ECDEV money was really for advertisement last year, from what I understood. So I just needed you to clarify
Yeah. Oh,
that.
great question.
And
Thank you.
yeah, your park is really a wonderful thing, and it's a wonderful addition to the town, no doubt.
Thank you very much.
It's the your event is coming up, but I don't know when.
July 26th, so in about 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Well, that's wonderful, Councillor Granger.
This is always hard to say, you know, no to. I mean, it's a great project, community initiative. It's one of the bright lights on the scene. So
Mhm.
good on you guys for that.
Thank you.
Now I have a couple of questions. Do you have to take out event insurance for this?
Yes.
Okay, so that's out of whatever funds you're able to raise or get, that
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 helps.
bag of money that you've got, that's
Mhm.
one of your expenses?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think what my second question was, it's gone. Okay.
Go ahead, Councillor Brown.
So personally, I was on the ECDEV board. We don't meet any longer, which is why when I talked to his wife, I said they should come here and pitch it to council. I think this is fantastic. It not only does the bike park keep our kids active and off their phones and doing great things, but it's actually a community event as well, as far as bringing the Grand Fondo here.
Mhm.
I think it's great, and I think it's really important to also say whether it's spent at our restaurants or hotels or the campground, it's all money that comes back into Cardston. I think that's the most important thing for us as council, is supporting those that are making Cardston shine, essentially. Thank you.
Councillor Granger.
My second question came back to my head. So for Jeff Shaw, do we have funds available right now?
So ECDEV had tourism marketing funds that have been set aside.
Yeah.
That's also in this budget, so there is enough to cover this.
Okay, that's my question.
Just a quick question, who put the picnic benches up there? Did the town do that, or did you guys do that, or? There's two benches up there, there's two of them just east of Eric Brooks' place.
Yeah, those were put up there, I think, what, a month ago or so?
Yep.
Kind of
So
thing.
who
I
did
think the
it?
town helped bring those up
Yeah.
to us because they were down in the Frisbee golf area near the campground, and they were brought up to there. They were just kind of sitting there extra, and
I
yeah,
was
they
just
were brought
wondering
up.
how they showed up there. I mean, they're sitting there in the shade, so it's really nice.
Yeah.
Something you did last year that I thought was good for council to see, you had a little bit of a financial sheet that you had given us as to what was your revenue, your expenses.
Oh, yeah.
To have it, if you could provide that and send it to Jeff, that'd be kind of nice
Yeah.
to kind of have a sense. And you had a projection, and then we could see where that money was going.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
we can-
that would be something that would be nice with the donation, because we contribute a fair amount of money. That's a
Oh,
way of
for sure.
having an
Yeah,
accounting
you
of the
definitely want
money.
to see where the money's actually going. So
And
no,
which
that's
is
totally
good. That's what we are asking for anybody who's getting donations now. It's not only you, it's becoming a policy for us to
fair. Mhm.
keep track
Yeah,
of the
my,
money.
my wife takes care of the finances for that, so I'll make sure she
Yeah,
sends
it
Jeff the
was
spreadsheet and
a
all that.
great slide last year. I remember that. It was good. Thanks.
So my question is actually to you, Mayor. So, but for this one, so this one would be under the ECDEV, right? This one isn't one of the ones that would come through under our donations policy, right? This one is a separate.
Well, this is
In my
what-
head, I'm seeing
yeah.
it as a separate.
Yeah, well, there is something there that we need to kind of review in your donation
Oh, I-
policy
I-
for all those
yeah.
things. It's a
Yeah,
different
I don't disagree,
conversation.
but I'm just saying
Yeah,
this
it's kind of
isn't
nice.
a normal ask. This is ECDEV related. So
But
for
I think
me,
anything that has an accounting part is a
Yep.
good thing.
yep, I don't disagree.
Well, and I think
Alright.
I think we've typically in the past come in and given like a review,
have
like a
done
year
it.
review
Charlie
of
did.
Yeah,
how the event went.
yeah, it's
and
nothing
like
new.
that.
Thank
we
you so much.
appreciate.
Thank you. Well, we will have to make a decision a little bit quicker than we thought we would
Yeah,
have
so,
to.
yeah, things have been kind of
Thank
crazy
you.
this year. So, but
All right.
it's been good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Really
you so
appreciate it.
much and carry on doing a wonderful job.
Thank you very much.
Much
day.
appreciated. Thanks. Okay. What I suggest we do is under 6 under other business, we will add that item because of the time factor.
Can I ask a quick question concerning the bike park? So kids are down there flying down that hill, if they get hurt, is that covered by town insurance? Anybody's insurance? It
It's
would
like
be
the
it.
pool is the same story.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's
Okay.
always circumstances to everything, but our insurance company would take care of the litigation.
I mean, it's not, and they're bouncing around pretty good, but they're kids, so they don't get hurt that much. So.
That's why I asked the question about the Grand Fondo
Yeah, it's
event.
the event
That's
itself.
different, right?
Yeah,
Jeff?
it is.
And it's good that they've got it, cause,
Yeah, it's an event place.
yeah,
on the
and not everybody has done that, so.
All right. Okay.
Good one.
Okay, we
Good to
have
hear.
a minutes of June 24th that we need to approve.
I will make the motion to approve the minutes for the regular council meeting held on June 24th, 2025.
Thank you. In favor?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Oh, Councillor Kenley, welcome.
No, there was.
You had a question.
You had a question, we'll go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm here. Okay. Oh crap.
Is it about when you came back and
That I think that was it. But then
Oh, yeah, no, I wrote.
in the public hearing where the delegation's not speaking against, they were speaking for. Correct? Am I wrong?
Everybody
When
spoke for.
No, they were speaking.
but in their talking, they were talking about that they appreciate like they.
I know what you're saying. They were.
I just saw that they were
Okay,
opposition, so I didn't.
no.
No.
So when you have a public hearing, you normally have people who speak for or people who speak against. Well, you cannot say especially that they are thrilled with it, but they understand why that is. So this is why, yeah, I read it the same way and thought,
I
yeah,
just
what
thought
do you
that
do?
they sound more in favor of it. But anyways.
That was my impression.
Anyways, okay. If everyone's fine with that saying opposition, then that's fine.
I don't think they're all in favor.
But should we change it? So
I don't.
it's
That's
reads-
what I don't. If it's
reads-
fine,
Neutralize the minutes.
Agreed.
I don't think they were.
They weren't.
Personally.
Well,
How do you do it? They were not thrilled to have a map of a flooding that is where their land is, but they were not against, as you say, vehemently against. They were not.
But that's the salient point,
yes.
is were they in favor of the amendment or not? And they,
But they were not
didn't
in.
voice opposition. In fact, I remember, without looking at the tape, that a couple of them said they were okay with it. There may have been concerns about the mapping, but that's an
But that's a
irrelevant issue.
problem. But that was a problem.
Yeah, but that doesn't speak to the point at hand, which was the amendment, so that it doesn't matter. The mapping is a
I
red
don't know
herring.
if I can recommend, like, would it be best for us to maybe reach out to them and ask them, like, because I don't want this to go out and they see this and all of a sudden they're like, I wasn't opposed to this.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what we should do. That's all.
question.
Or
But
we leave it alone.
it's a very good point.
So what would be wrong with saying Mr. David Red spoke of the proposed amendments? Why does it have to say,
In
like,
opposition.
just get rid of the word?
Yeah.
It fixes it in a heartbeat. And then it's not us making the
A
decision
judgment.
Just take an
because
opposition
he
out.
didn't use the word
No,
opposed.
no,
So
I did
why
not
are,
say that they were
so I just think
opposed.
we just clean it up and then so
I think it's a good point.
So
Counselor,
I-
you go ahead and make that amendment.
What does it need to be?
So you got a couple of options. You can pass them as amended, or we can fix them right now, and later in the meeting, you can pass them.
Do that.
Okay, why don't we, let's clean them up.
I'll withdraw my motion until,
Okay, it's fixed. All right, so let's
Great.
so,
carry on.
Well, make
or is it gonna come back, or are we okay?
The paper will come back to me and I will sign the proper corrected
Because
version.
we actually voted on the motion to
Yeah,
approve the
you
minutes.
can rescind it.
Well, that's why I didn't. I don't speak
Re-
fast
re-
enough. Apparently.
Yeah,
Okay.
we actually
Okay.
voted.
literally.
Can you rescind it?
I am happy to rescind my motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
And then vote
Thank
for the
you.
original one, but that's okay.
Counselor Cameron.
So that is rescinded. We will,
Well, now we have to vote
On
on
the
the
amended.
amended
correct.
minutes.
Correct.
Yes, great. I will make a motion to approve the.
Amended.
Yep, I will get there. The June 24th, 2025 amended minutes.
Thank you. All in favor?
I'll bring up a clean copy.
Thank you, thank you. All right.
Good job, man.
I couldn't even get my words
Good
out.
grief.
Good catch, yes.
Thank you, Councillor
I
Kelly. I read it and I was
Oh.
not, I was not thrilled about the wording,
It's okay.
but good for you.
I did my
see it.
reading.
Good
I read it.
job.
Must have been a slow day.
I had
Okay.
caught the 5:50, the time you were returning.
Okay, I will
But-
speak one more while we're paused here. If I do happen to leave, I am on call, so that's why.
Okay, all right. Okay, under 5, bylaw and policy, 5A, tax incentive bylaw. Joshua,
Council, while he's setting up, you should have a file. It was a new one in there. It says draft bylaw 1722. So 5A, draft bylaw 1722. If you don't have that, please tell me. I'll get you a print copy. Depending on which, if you're on the website or if you're on the OneDrive, it can be a bit delayed.
Mike got it, so.
Okay.
I saw this.
5A 1722.
Okay, thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Mayor. Good evening, council. So this bylaw is before you, this draft, based on the feedback we received from the CCW meeting in June. There was a desire that the non-residential tax incentive program be expanded slightly to make it more desirable for developers, and also to tie it so that more exemption is available to more development, essentially. So some key changes in this draft. In Schedule A, you can see that there are brackets now. There's different levels of exemption available based on what they're able to create. This is also time-based. So as part of the annual preparation of the assessment roll, the assessor will take into account the useful life of a property and is able to calculate how much has been added through renovation or creation of new improvements. So that's something that's being done already. And then some developer flexibility was added. So developers now have 3 years to apply for this program from the issuance of the building permit that would result in the project. And then after they apply, they have 3 years to achieve the highest level of exemption they can. So that would be calculated annually. Maybe in year 1, they get 20 years, so they can take that exemption at that time. Or maybe they want to wait until year 2 when they've made up 50 years. and that flexibility is in there as well. So
Council-
we would just ask for first reading at this time.
Councillor Kenley, you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I like this, I appreciate the work into this. I just had a question, I don't know if you just said it and I missed it. Who makes the decision on the useful life years? Who's doing that?
So the assessor, and that's a third-party benchmark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Are we okay with that amendment?
I have a quick comment,
Councillor
question.
Granger?
So, I like everything that you've presented here. I'm just curious, did you use another municipality or another model from somewhere? I'm just curious where you got it from.
These are pretty standard, but the useful life is an innovation. Now that's something that I've been in contact with our assessor quite a bit,
Okay.
and he has no issue doing it this way, and we're confident that it would work.
Creative thought between you and him.
Mhm.
Great, super.
So I think it's a good amendment. Councillor
Yeah, I'll
Kenley?
make a motion to pass first reading of bylaw, sorry, 1722, non-residential property tax incentive.
Thank
bylaw.
you. All in favor? Thank you. Good. Now, the land use bylaw amendment, it's a little bit more complicated.
Oh, not too much more. So, council, we had the public hearing last meeting on the land use bylaw amendments. Again, we're focused just on the flood reduction areas and the one little thing about the sea cans in recreation. So, in your backgrounder, Shem pulled out just the pages that were changed. That it was sent again with the whole 200 and something pages. So we pulled out anything that was changed. There were some changes from first reading. They were pretty minor. You might remember there was a clause that was saying that the development authority shall require a real property report. That was at your recommendation changed to may. So it was at discretion of the MPC. The shipping containers in recreation were moved from discretionary to discretionary use development officer. So it doesn't have to go to the MPC. The development officer can make that discretionary change there, or that choice there, I should say, that decision. And then other than that, there was one change after the after the hearing that says the development authority may require as a condition of development that a save harmless agreement be entered into and registered against land titles. So this is one of those things, if there's still some conditions where the MPC isn't super comfortable, but they meet the requirements, but there's still some unease, we can require the developer to sign a save harmless. We register it so the next owner isn't coming back to the town and saying, hey, I got water in my front door. And you guys shouldn't have approved this in the first place.
Mhm.
So we can register that. That was added since the public hearing, and that was all that was changed. Other than that, everything in blue in the document was what you saw at the public hearing. So for tonight's purposes, you have a couple of options. At the very least, we would request a motion to adopt the amendments and then one more reading. If you would like to do third reading, you certainly can. But that's the feedback from the public hearing for you, council.
Okay, I appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you very much. So what we need to do first is to have a motion to approve the amendment to the land use bylaw.
I would move that council adopt the amendment to bylaw 1647Q as discussed and presented today.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. All right. So is there an appetite to go for second and third? Councillor Court?
I'm gonna make a motion for second read of bylaw 1647Q, the land use bylaw.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you.
I just didn't know, this is just me speaking, that if we wanted to wait for Councilor Burton for another meeting or not.
We can
I don't know if he's
stop
had any
there, but
notes on
if we stop there, we will
fine,
not do it until
September.
August.
Because
If he hasn't said anything, I'm sure he's had
So,
maybe a chance to look
Mike
at it.
Mayor, Councillor Burton did send specific comments to Orsk before the public hearing of the
Yes.
things that he wished, and those are represented in the changes.
And those were the changes
Professor,
when they came. Councillor Brown?
I make a motion for third reading of bylaw amendment 1647Q land use bylaw.
Thank you. Councillor Granger?
Oh, sorry, I was gonna vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you, all right, you guys
On a roll.
are really on a roll.
Councillor
Okay, now
Kennedy,
we're
that's how
going
you
to
raise your
deal
hand
with
quick.
five
Before she's
C,
done talking.
traffic safety bylaw concern. Go ahead, Jeff.
So council, I'm just wanting to get your opinion whether or not this is something you want to pursue. One of you got an email from a resident with a concern. I put that in the background, or essentially concerned that and this is something I can tell you for certain has been multiple peace officers over, 10, 12 years, where this commercial truck is parked in the residential zone. Peace officer talks to the driver. It's better for a while, and then it happens again. So our traffic safety bylaw 5.17, and I'm scrolling very quickly here, says no commercial, farm, or public motor vehicle shall be parked on any of the streets of the town of Cardston in residential areas except in the conducting of its normal business. And so this resident who trucks for a living is saying, I don't feel comfortable just putting my truck on the outskirts somewhere in the community. It's very expensive, and I can appreciate that. As this does come up from time to time, before we did anything, I just wanted some feedback from council if there was in fact appetite to pursue any kind of further investigation or amendments to the bylaw.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking you, Jeff, just for my own interest, there must be some other people who have rigs in town and who are truckers. What do they do with their rigs?
Yeah, so I can only speak to a couple. I'm sure there are more than I know. And I know there's a couple that have arrangements, for example, like with Mike DeWinter to park outside his shop, or the old Fortis building, which is now the Taurus building. I think I've seen, this is anecdotal by the way, I just think I've seen some people park there, or with Bart Levitt and his land. You know, I do know others have made arrangements to put them in industrial or commercial zoning. The extent of that, I don't know exact. I haven't inquired. So, but there is some of that happening certainly.
As a follow-up, my concern is that if we allow one, we have to allow all.
I feel like we say that for everything.
Councillor Brown, Councillor Granger, Councillor Court. Which one wants to go first?
That's quick. You mentioned school buses. Are we enforcing that?
So,
I don't notice that many on the
Yeah.
road. There are some up on the east side, like you were saying.
Yeah, on the east side there is.
the ones in residential areas are not exclusively, but there's a lot of the Blood Tribe Bus Co-op buses because
Yeah.
the Westwind has the bus depot. So we see a number of those in residential areas. I would not say we have vigilantly enforced the school bus thing during the school years, especially. This time of year, you probably would because they don't need to be there. School's out. All of these are always interesting, and I think we could all put ourselves in those shoes. It's cold, you're driving a diesel, you need to go out half hour before you take off and turn that thing on. That might be at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and now there's a big diesel running, but the buses do it quite a bit. So yes, that's an issue too, Councillor. You bring up a good point.
All right, Councillor Brown, Councillor Granger.
You killed it. You did my questions. I'm good.
Okay, Councillor Granger.
I have zero appetite for this repeat offender. It's got a history of breaching the bylaw. I've said this many times in this room. Bylaws are there to be enforced. We should enforce the bylaw. I'm not sure if this gentleman has been fined, but we need to pull that out of the hat pretty soon. And absolutely not. If he wants to lobby this council or a future council to change the bylaw, but this councillor would vote against any change. I read the bylaw carefully. It's a well-written, proper bylaw. If we allow this, and as the mayor says, all of a sudden we'll get snowed under by these kind of requests, we're gonna end up with trucker yards on our residential streets. I'm not interested in that. I'm happy with the bylaw the way it's written, and I have no appetite or no sympathy for this individual, no appetite to change the bylaw, and no sympathy for the individual.
Okay.
I have,
Councillor
I
Jensen.
have two questions.
Brown.
Is there a place, do we provide a place in town for for truckers to put their vehicles?
The town doesn't know.
Is there any place for them to, I mean, like, a lot of guys are, semi-truck drivers and they pull in and, you know, like, and secondly, could we say up to X number of a certain length or something? Cause I know for myself, we farm. And, although our trucks are little, you know, and they're not commercial, but you know, we pull the grain truck into town, you know, hard helps out, we get a drink of, you know, he gets a drink or whatever he does and everything. Those type of people, you know, can we work with this somehow? You know, like these guys are employed. I want them to stay in Cardston. You know, could we not figure out something? You know, a place for them to park or something. I don't know.
Councillor.
So, I was the counselor that this person reached out to. I felt we should bring it to council, have a discussion in regards to it. I do feel bad for anyone that they can't park what they do for a living in front of their house. And it is sad to me that something that would be that expensive of a vehicle, you know, that you have to go ahead and park somewhere. But on the other hand, having had a father-in-law that was a trucker for 40 years, he rented a garage to park. He made a deal with, you know, Joe Blow in Tabor to park on the outskirts. I think as Jeff and the mayor have brought up, other people are doing it, Counselor. I don't feel the need that the town of Cardston should be having to pay for an area to have people parking their big trucks on. I feel like unfortunately, it's sad. I do have a question though, because you know who we're talking about. Could they not park, because they have wicked long yard. Wicked long. So my thought was, could you not just park it, go long?
So when they,
A
so
person.
so my understanding is when they don't have a trailer attached, they
Yes.
do back it up alongside their house.
Yes.
Which it
I
is
agree.
right now, I think. If you went
Yes,
up there right now,
yes.
that's where it is.
And that's fine, is it
It's
not?
fine. It's
Okay.
not on the street. It's not on the highway, we'll
So
call it.
so they could go long with it,
Right.
but I guess when you have a trailer to be backing that out, you couldn't
Oh,
do that.
I don't even know if we have enough width of the
Not
road to
enough
safely
width,
back
yes.
that out over the
Okay.
boulevard.
But the
that we
truck is fine being parked off
have. Under the
street.
bylaw, it is, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Granger, Councillor Kenley.
So, as a number of people have said, that there are opportunities, locations where this individual could rent and store his vehicle in properly zoned industrial land, okay? And he just doesn't want to do it. He's been trying to get away with this for many, many years. So that's what he should do. That's what everybody else is doing. If I lived next door at 40 below and the guy's running a tractor truck next to my bedroom window, that's not what residential zoning is all about. That's industrial zoning, and there's lots of places and other people are doing it, and that's what this guy should do.
Okay, just a second. Councillor Kenley,
You can
Councillor Brown.
rebuttal, it's fine. If you want.
Councillor Brown.
I think this isn't about being frustrated with the person. I think this is just a broad question, which is why Jeff, I think, brought it forward. I get a job tomorrow driving a big truck, help you all. But I think
Let me know.
no, but what I'm saying is I'm not interested in picking on a person here. This is just a problem. It's brought to council. Council, it sounds like we do not agree with it, and we'll move forward with it. It's not a personal attack.
Councillor Brown, I appreciate your comment. Every time we look at bylaws or whatever, we need to think of the well-being of the whole community and not one person. that we like or don't like, because we end up by making poor decision on those counts.
No, I was
Councillor
just gonna
Kenny?
add that, like you just said, that's where I'm coming from. Is if it's where I think it is, I actually don't know what you're even talking about, but if it's where I think it is, I am more concerned about safety of pedestrians.
Mm.
And it's just like driving down the streets and there's people's trailers outside. Like you can't see kids crossing sidewalks and you can't see kids darting out, and that concerns me more than actually having the truck there.
Yeah,
It's more, it's the bylaw. I agree with Councilor Granger. It's not an attack on anyone. We need to enforce it. It's more for me, this the safety of the kids
yeah.
and the pedestrians in general. So
All right, so the recommendation to administration is to
Not changing it.
let that individual know that we're not prepared to change
Fine.
our, our bylaw.
Sounds good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, let's carry on. On the 6A, 1, Michael Evans, if you
Mayor, if I could
remember.
have Joshua speak to that, he's been talking with Mr. Bevins, so we just wanted to give an update on where
Okay,
that's at.
go ahead. If you remember, it's a story of a leafy spurge, and the administration and Mr. Bevins were supposed to work together to try to find a solution.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So, Mr. Bevins and I have been back and forth on email a number of times, and we certainly appreciate his concern. And it's been a good opportunity to sit down with the Parks and Rec Department and just add some more detail on our strategy to this issue, not only at his parcel but throughout the whole community. So we've started that work, and our focus this year is going to be on town property bordering private lands used to generate income. So that would be Mr. Bevins and also quite a few others in town. So Parks has already applied herbicide to over 5 acres, including those areas around Mr. Bevins. There is an exception because there's some livestock going to be going in there and will be held there in the short term. So we're going to wait till those animals leave before getting that area.
Thank you. That's good news.
Yeah, it is. I drove around quite a bit, looked, and across the street from me where the Tate Evans area, there's a lot of
Hi,
them in
Councillor
there.
Burton.
And if you got an iPhone 16, you can actually take a picture of it. It'll tell you if it's leafy spurge or not. Because not all of it is. Some look very similar. So that there's some concern there. I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. So what exactly would you like council to do regarding that? Is that information for council, or is there some money put in a budget towards that? Or
Right now, we don't have any concern as far as our budget. This is just information, and our treatment only happened today, so I'll be reaching out to Mr. Bevins tomorrow.
so what I'm wondering, Jeff, maybe as a follow-up to this, is there going to be a need to create some kind of line item yearly for leafy spurge eradication?
Yeah, right now, you have roughly 10,000 budgeted for spraying. We used a contractor last year, and yeah, we're honestly just gonna take the fall and the winter, and if we need some additional money, we're certainly asked.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, budget-wise, we okay?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Is there a
Councillor
need to contact any residences in that area when we're spraying? Just wondering if there's a smell to the spray. I don't know.
Jeff would know that as the applicant.
We didn't.
Yeah, most of these are not right next to residences, they're just on the outskirts.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if we get if
Heads
there's
up.
a smell to it, yeah.
Yeah, we are using a chemical that we're familiar with, and once we get into those residential areas where there are more concentration, we'll do our usual notice. But yeah, those outskirts, there wasn't the need.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for dealing with this issue. Who's dealing with the next one? Is that you, Jeff?
And I didn't plan this, that we were alternating so well.
Yeah.
Normally somebody can stay put for a while. But boy, we're
Okay,
pretty back
so
and
the
forth.
next item is from Ryan Dick from OSC regarding detached suites and MR and ASP.
Yeah, so we'd asked Ryan to speak to a few more items while he was here, unrelated to the public hearing. One of them being a follow-up from the delegation of Crystal Haitzma,
Mhm.
talking about the possibility of those suites. Now, what we heard from Ryan was that you can it's certainly doable. There is some conditions that need to be made. And it's something you could work through depending on the lot. There was issues such as site servicing. The additional suite servicing is always a concern. Parking is obviously a concern that always has to be addressed. But what? Oh, sorry.
And access to the back. In other words, you said corner lots are better because you may have a way to get back to the other unit.
Thank you, and hi, Councilor Burton. I didn't even know he was there yet, so there we go. So for today, Council, just wanting to know on this item, would you like administration to bring back amendments that would accommodate this type of request? Would you like us to at least bring a backgrounder that shows some of the things to consider, some of the pros and cons, and delve into that a little more deeply for you?
Okay, Councillor Burton, and then I will ask Councillor Granger, Councillor Court. Go ahead, Councillor.
My opinion is that that would be helpful if we had both a backgrounder and maybe Ryan or whoever could draft a proposed bylaw. And I think if you look at it, I am really concerned that we make sure that our guidelines are there. It'll be MPC deciding these types of things. And the more guidance we get through the bylaw from council, the better.
I agree with you.
If council passes it, but I'm just saying, I think we want something that doesn't just say you can do it. We want some guidelines in there. Some things would be discretionary,
Sure.
some would be mandatory. That type of language just to help us over at MPC.
I agree. Sounds good.
I was
Councillor Granger.
impressed with Ryan's presentation, and he provided us with a lot of justification, that this might be something that is a good idea for the community as a whole. I would agree with what Councillor Burton just said. Try to nail it down in terms of loopholes or concerns, and I'm concerned about servicing the angle of servicing angles and issues that could crop up that we need to look at that carefully.
Just to go along with this real quick, Haitzman's property would be a piece of cake. It's a corner lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can separate corner lots with the main one. They have to run it through their house, but corner lots, I don't see a problem. But I'm with you. I'm not sure how you're going to run that service.
It's tricky, but it can be done.
So I think there is a recommendation there from Councillor Burton. Do you want to have a formal?
Yeah, I think a motion to direct administration to pursue the detached suites in R1 zoning would be appropriate.
Councillor Burton, do you want to do that for us?
Thank you. I move that we direct administration to prepare background and a draft bylaw for our review and discussion relating to separate suites in R1 zoning.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you very much, councillors. Now the MR and ASP is a different story.
So this one, the two kind of go together, and I know that this wasn't on the timeline that Councillor Burton ultimately wanted, but Old Man River is suggesting that they now have the time and capacity to start with a new area structure plan immediately, focusing on the west area first. Councillor Burton, that's right, isn't it? It was west area was the main focus? Yeah, okay. And so they are prepared to proceed. You haven't talked too much as a council about a new area structure plan in the west. The MPC has discussed it to some degree. Councillor Burton and Nolan have discussed it with Old Man River to some degree. So just maybe some discussion to make sure you're all comfortable. Now, we had budgeted this last year and we carried it forward.
Okay.
So provided that the quote's the same, and I anticipate that it will be, then we are funded appropriately to move ahead with
Okay.
an ASP.
So that was a concern of mine, and I'm glad to hear that. Councillor Burton.
I was on council way back when the first West Area Structure Plan came out.
Yeah, I remember that.
It doesn't seem like we followed it overly close. I mean, Darren's big chunk of land was designed to be residential.
Yeah.
It's didn't turn out that way. So I guess it doesn't really, you can't really overrule the landowner too much.
Well, but to be clear on that, if you look at the placement of the home, it's placed that it can still be, excuse me, chopped up into its most dense. So what the ASP does is allow us to say, okay, you have a unique estate home you want, as long as you put it here, then it can be subdivided in the future, and the roads and the utility right-of-ways are identified. So I would say to that point, Councillor, I think it's been really helpful, and that has been followed. We have not required those landowners to subdivide to that's most dense development at all. That I would say that's true.
And part two of that would be holding ponds. There's supposed to be a number of holding ponds. One right behind my house a little bit. One up on Ninth Street.
Yeah.
Or is that one on Ninth Street? It was kind
The
of a
lot
holding
that
pond
we
anyhow.
own.
Yeah.
That's a lot we own.
So we were able to get rid of the one, you were gonna have like a diving pool behind your house is what we were calling that. It was gonna be super small and super deep.
Yeah.
So that can now be moved south into the dry pond.
Right.
And so we didn't require it anymore. But you are correct, there's still a design. The next one actually in the West Area Structure Plan that will be addressed and will be the next one to be built is the one just south of Doig's and Ryan Jensen's. So that one's about to be triggered that will need to be built.
Because that was kind of a holding pond to begin with.
Yeah, it's been a swamp
Building it
anyway,
there,
yeah,
swamp.
for sure.
I lived there for 20 years, so I
Yeah.
know.
So that'll be the next one.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Councillor Burton? Thank you.
Well, Councillor Court is right. I mean, that's why we're looking at this, is it seems like the market wants something different than our ASP had designed. So
Yeah.
really what we're proposing to do is just look at that and say, do we want to change the area structure plan to be more in line with what the market seems to want? But I mean, that is the question that council should answer today, is are we prepared to change it, to look at it? Doesn't mean we have to decide what we're doing, but are we prepared to look at it with a view that it would be less dense than the original area structure plan called for? And then one other thing is we've also noticed in the southeast, that area structure plan may need some tweaking as well. I mean, it's more farming and that kind of thing. And it might be the kind of thing where there's so little demand over there, we just leave it. You know, but the real reason that we're looking at the west one is there is demand there that doesn't seem to fit.
Okay, so Councillor, let me understand. Are you trying to say that the density was more concentrated in smaller parcels, but people still want larger parcels? Is that the issue?
Yes, that's the biggest issue, is that the demand seems to be for larger parcels, and some of those are really fairly dense in the area structure plan. So like Jeff said, we're kind of forcing the round peg in the square hole, or however that expression goes, that we're saying, okay, well, if you want to build that, you have to follow the dotted lines that the area structure plan would require you to be in. And so we're kind of forcing one over top of the other. And Ryan had suggested, look, rather than keep doing that, we want to just look at it and say, is the area structure plan still reflect what we think the growth will be in that part of our community?
Yeah. Jeff?
It's important to remember a little bit of context too, and I want to, Councillor Burton's going to know where I'm going with this quite quickly, and I'm going to navigate this carefully. But when the West Area Structure Plan was last done, there was a great emphasis from the province to follow the mandates of the South Saskatchewan Plan, which was maximum density.
Yeah.
And with all due respect to the plan, I can't speak to how that's played out across the South Saskatchewan Basin in real time over all those years. I don't know that in other communities. But I think that we have seen in our community that there is a market for
Larger
estate
property.
homes that do not fit within a plan requiring maximum density. And so again, with all due respect to the governing document
Body,
here, we may need to exercise a little greater discretion locally than what is being suggested regionally. Is that a really safe way to navigate that, Councillor Burton?
A very polite way to put it, yes.
Okay,
In the back halls of Orsk, they can tell you what they really think.
yes, sure.
Okay. All right. So, councillors, what Councillor Burton asked is that is there an appetite around the table to accept that there will be a revision towards larger parcels of land in the west
Yeah,
structure?
what we're finding is some people are buying 2 lots so they get into their lots.
Yeah,
And
obviously.
I've
Yeah.
seen that, so
Yeah.
maybe we need to relook at
So-
that as well.
Essentially, are we okay to send, Councillor Burton, you want to add something?
Just one more thought on that, Mayor, is that, again, Councilor Court's right, they're buying 2 lots, and I asked one of our local realtors why some of those lots right next to the golf course are still empty. And his opinion was, in fact, I talked to 2 realtors, and they said they're just too small.
Right.
Weren't selling because they're too small, not because they're too big. And
Right.
not because they're not a great lot. They are great lots. They're just, the original area structure plan was just smaller than people want. And not
Right.
even in the state lot, even those ones in that first phase of development are pretty narrow.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, totally sense.
I'm okay with everything that's been said. My only thought was that we're nearing the end of our term, and what we think the next council has to either think the same way or change it, that's all.
But there's nothing wrong of getting the area structure plan, starting with that idea, and then revision can be made later. Yeah.
I've obviously have thought exactly what Councillor Granger's saying is that you've got this funny timing thing,
Yes,
right?
we do.
So you guys have a sunset on all these new initiatives, right?
Yeah.
And so, however, in the case of area structure plan, I do believe there's some utility. If there's a resolution of council to proceed with the West Area Structure Plan redevelopment, we can start on the public consultation pieces. So we
Right.
can start to get like an initial draft going. We can plan some
Good
open
feedback.
houses for the fall.
Yeah.
And then that new council will have their time to have a good look at it, but we can get a lot of stuff going in the meantime.
And
if
that
this-
would be a good thing. The feedback of the public is an important thing when you deal with land.
And I think we have a responsibility, if we think it's a good idea, I think we do, then we should say so. This council should say
Exactly.
so.
So Councillor Burton, do you want to add something, or you want to direct administration to move along with OSC and do the review of the plan?
I would just add that I think it is helpful to have current council start the process. Council Court has experience with it, you do. That background is helpful. I think that's better than having someone come in cold to
Agree.
the concept, if you will. And for whatever it's worth, I'm certainly happy to be involved in that, if you want to appoint me to that committee to do those, those initial discussions.
I would
So I
hope
would-
you would be part of it.
So I would move that
There is a motion coming.
the administration or that we form a subcommittee.
Well, good. I never thought about the subcommittee until you mentioned being on the subcommittee, Councillor. But I'm wondering if, for now, if we just start with direct administration to proceed with the West Area Structure Plan, and then we'll start working with ORSC and bring back a framework for how this goes forward and ad hoc committee type of bylaws and things like that. I think that simple resolution will get the ball rolling.
Are you okay with that, Councillor Burton?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to make that resolution?
Yes, so I move that we direct administration to work with ORSC in preparing some initial look at the West Area Structure Plan to bring back to council for discussion.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you very much. All right, so as I said, thank you so much. Councillor Burton, do you want to add something?
If you want me to work on that, could somebody else make a motion to that effect?
I think what Jeff is trying to say is wait for that document of ours to come back and then have that ad hoc committee struck, because we don't even know what the structure of that committee would be. Are you okay to wait for that? Jeff
However you
is
want.
Jeff is not in a room right now, so I cannot even ask him a question. Why don't we come back to on that one on the
Back.
questions? Would that work?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so on the 6A3, we have a delegation that came, and unfortunately, we cannot wait to the next meeting to give them an answer. So that is for the Grand Fondo. And I know, Councillor Brown, I'm going to give you the chance. You were not there, Councillor Burton. The request was to take $2,000 from the economic development opportunity. There is money in there to top up their financial effort towards improving the course and advertising their event. So I know that it sounds almost like two pocket of money given for the same event. But I think Councillor,
There's anything to defend. I think it's crystal clear. This is the cycling community that is bringing a phenomenal economic growth and development product, if you will, to the town of Cardston. It is helping everyone. It's a win-win. Why wouldn't we support this? That just makes no sense to me. I think it is for our local kids. They take the money and they throw it right back into the community. They could easily say, you know what, this is our baby and we're going to pocket that money because they put a pile of work into it. But they don't. They take that money from all their hard work and they throw it back into the cycling club and then pour it into the hill. And so the course, yeah, thank you. And so I'm ready to make a motion on it.
okay. Councillor Kenley,
I was late, obviously, but what was the delay in them asking for this?
the delay. Why they didn't ask for that money ahead of time? Well, that's a good question. I don't know.
I do. They had a baby and sold their house all at once.
Okay,
So.
I just wondered why.
But other than
All right.
that,
Last month.
Nothing was going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
My only trying to understand give Councillor Burton a chance to talk. Go ahead, Councillor.
Well, I think I support this, but just a question. I know I don't remember whether it was the first time or the second time that they came to us for support, but somebody on Councillor Brown's side of the room asked the question, when do you think you'll be self-sustaining?
Right.
And I remember that
That's
answer
exactly
was,
the
I think
That's
fairly
what-
soon.
100%.
And this is either 1 or 2 years later. I'm just wondering, do they still think they could be self-sustaining, or do you think they'll be back every year
Okay.
as it grows bigger?
Councillor Burton, you took my question out of my mouth. This is something that I do not know. This is why I asked them if they could provide some financials the same way they did in the past years, because it would give us a better sense of the trend. And I think they're doing their very best to do something great for the community. I really, really do believe it's great. But like you, I think it come a time the Opportunity Initiative has that kick attached to it, that if you're able to get the Opportunity Initiative, the stipulation is that you have to become self-sufficient because the funds are diminishing every year. And so that is something that is an important thing for them to consider. Can they become self-sufficient in time? Maybe they could. I think they would.
Well, I think it's important for those of you that weren't here is that they did make profit of $20,000 on the Grand Fondo, and then they took that $20,000 and they put it back into the bike park. So I guess they're doing pretty good. So you're just minusing $2,000 from that. So your $17,000 of profit is what they made if you look at it that way. Minus, I guess, the initiative as well, right? So let's say 16 grand. They're still made 16 grand profit and put it back in to the course. So I don't think, Mayor, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, this year, ECDEV, like as part of the motion of saying this year ECDEV supports you with X amount of dollars, but we're looking for you to become more stand on your own, to wean the process through.
Yeah, this bike park they put together, that was a one in, 20,000, whatever he spent on, they hired a guy to come in from BC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, they're gonna want to make more trails now, but if they're making 16,000 a year, I don't think they're gonna need town money or.
Well, this is what I'm looking forward
I
to
think-
them being self-sustaining, because that's the whole idea.
Absolutely.
That's the idea of the initiative. That was the whole idea.
I mean, the startup funds, with the sliding scale, that'll soon come to zero.
In about 3 years.
Okay, so that runs out. And they don't qualify for any more of that kind of money. But they're also, by putting money back into the course, pretty soon that course will be darn near super finished. And
Well,
their own fundraiser will carry them through. So I think
That's what I'm thinking.
eventually
Yeah.
we're gonna see them ask for less and less to the point
Well,
where they don't need us.
therefore, the financial to have a sense
Yeah,
of
and
where
that-
they're going,
that-
right? This is why we want that. Yes.
For me, the big thing is not so much how much they're making or anything, but that they're bringing people to town to spend money here. And I think that is huge. And so for me, I'm in favor of it because they're bringing people into this community. Those people are seeing Cardston and they're spending their money here.
There is no objection to what you're saying. Go ahead.
I really want to make a motion to support Carly and Grady Taylor's Cardston Community Cycling Club for the Grand Fondo. I would like the $2,000 to go towards advertising
Right.
for this event. Period.
Let me just add real quick, this is a good one too, like, they have a work day schedule, and you get 40 kids out there with shovels cleaning things up. That's good for the community.
I mean, everything they're doing is stellar. It's
No
A1.
downside.
There is no, it's just a question of being sustainable. Councillor Burton, we have a motion on the table.
Right, so my comment on that motion is, I would support it, but even outside the motion, could administration just advise them that we
Yeah.
hope that next year we don't get the same request?
That'll be that council.
Thank you.
Something to that
Councils.
effect.
Okay, so Jeff, do you want that to be included in the motion?
I don't. So no. They'll watch it.
Okay, so it's
I want
good.
to tie up the other
All right.
councils.
So I think there's consensus here. All in favor? Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, that's really good work they're doing, actually. Okay, let's go to the committee reports. Now, here once again, the library report is not there, and I'm a little disappointed, but it's not quick coming. So since we don't get them ourselves when they're signed,
So why, may I ask why the library isn't, why,
I am not 100% sure. I have asked Jeff to contact Mary Lou and to make sure that when the minutes have been corrected, that a copy needs to be sent there. The problem is with the minutes is when they are presented at the meeting, if they need correction, then the secretary has to go back, correct them. And then we don't see them back for another who knows when until we have the next meeting. And so the approval of those minutes takes a lot of time.
But in the past, the secretary would make the corrections and then you would just online, everyone approve them. So you wouldn't have to wait for,
But they have to be signed in order to be sent to the administration. And our secretary has been ill for the past two meetings, we haven't seen her. So it's a little bit, but they will come. I'm keeping an eye. Any other one? Councillor, I just noticed you did not have a chance to go to the AGM for South Grove.
yes,
I
That
did not
was-
know that.
yeah, I didn't go because I had a doctor's appointment, which trumped
Yeah.
it. And if you remember, I asked, did anyone want to go to
Yeah,
it? And no
yeah.
one did. No one
So
wanted to go.
anyway, it doesn't seem like it made too much of a difference. The report is there, the minutes are there for it all, so it's all good. The budget to actual, that is there for you to have as information. On the 7C, the CPO report, I was quite pleased to see how our new dog catcher is working really hard to relocate the animals, and I think that's wonderful. So Jeff, you can pass on to Leo and to our new, what's the name of our Gary, and to Gary, our thanks for his hard work. It's great. Councillor Court.
So is Leo actually leaving on 28th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gone this way.
Well, if they ever go to Israel, I got a place to stay. Let's see, threw it out there, eh?
All right.
So we're in the middle of hiring somebody else then.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. Okay, under 8 questions, here is a request that I had from the Lions Club. They have their August 9 breakfast here behind the building, wherever the back of the building is, this way. Oh, thank you, Councillor Kenley. They want as many as can come, 7:30 in the morning. And it's fun. Thank you. So, Councillor Kenley, can you do it?
Don't know yet.
Okay. So I will be there. Councillor Brown will be there.
What day is that on? Sorry.
It's the 9th of August. It's
Yeah.
the day of the parade.
Yeah.
I should be able to.
Yeah, I'll come and help. What time do they start? 6, was it?
We start at 7:30. They want us there at 7:30, but you know, if you cannot come at 7:30, if you can come later on and replace somebody, then it's great, right? And by normally 9 o'clock, we pretty well have to be done because we have to go line up for the parade. Councillor Kenley?
I just had a question for Jeff.
Okay, can you give me a second?
Yep.
Okay, so if anybody else wants to join us, by all means, let me know because I have to let them know. Thanks. So on the 8th question, we had Councillor Jensen that asked to bring a citizen concern, and then I will do.
Yes, I have citizens calling and stopping me downtown and wanting me to ask a question, so here it is. So why after 20 years of service to the town of Cardston was an employee neglected and not even told goodbye nor thank you let alone acknowledged in any way on their last day of work.
Okay, Councillor, this is a person that may have not the full picture, and I think that is a closed session item. That is not something to be spread all over. It deals with staff, and staff is not something we do in public.
Okay.
So sorry about that.
So
And I
then
wish-
when we
I
go into
wish-
closed session, can we discuss
Yes,
it?
I wish you had brought that. I asked you if you had passed it by administration, and you said no. And I'm really regret that. Anytime there is somebody in a community that has a beef with something, it is appropriate to bring it to administration. That is a proper conduit for a councillor.
I'm not
Normally, in my experience, an elected council doesn't deal with personnel matters.
No, we
at all.
don't. It's not our job. All right, so Councillor Kenley, do you want to?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Have we had any sort of figured out what we're gonna do about our issue at the golf course with those little animals?
Oh, the marmots.
Are they multiplying?
No, they're leaving that dropping, and it's pretty
I just
disgusting.
am wondering if
I'm
there's a
sorry.
solution thus far. It's just getting really bad.
I went
And
with
then we'll travel.
with Jim Schaefer,
I'm not acknowledging that.
and I really realized it's pretty nasty.
Yeah, the short answer is no, they are protected. And so
I don't believe it.
Yeah, they are.
I really don't.
I'd love to be wrong in that
They're
statement.
not. They're woodchucks. I'm sorry, but
Okay.
they are. They're not the protected one, in my
Well,
opinion.
So
Okay, so they're not on the endangered list, but they're protected by the
But woodchucks
wildlife.
are not protected.
this is just what I'm being told, Counselor.
Oh, anyways.
So
Alright.
Lior has gone and checked it out. He's given some instructions to the grounds crew on things they can start doing. We've engaged Fish and Wildlife. No,
Anyway,
trust
thanks.
me, I know what the easy solution is here, but I can't take that road. So yes, it's a problem, and we'll
I know you can't take
keep
that
kind of
road.
navigating through this a little bit. But yeah, it's a problem.
Councillor, if we had 200 traps and a way to relocate them in somebody's backyard,
They've been in my backyard, so don't.
Really?
I just had one
I
in my
They're right up on my
backyard.
deck.
you know
My
what?
son- I got a picture where my son's on the deck with a hockey stick, chasing this marmot off my front door.
We just had one in our backyard. No kidding. It was stuck.
Councillor Kenley, I had one on my backyard.
So they're everywhere. And anyways,
This reminds me when I lived in Squamish and worked for the town there,
Mm,
the golf course, it was Canada geese
yeah, well,
by the hundreds, and their droppings everywhere, and the same kind of concern. And council started to talk about, I wasn't on council, I was in administration, but they started to talk about culling the Canada geese
Yeah.
with baseball bats, and the community freaked
Yeah.
out.
well, that's disgusting.
And it never happened, and you just had to walk around the droppings.
Yeah, but when you go to the tee box and you just have to go sliding in this mess, it's no fun. Sorry. All right, under 9, correspondence.
Do have a picture of him sitting on the
Oh,
bridge.
Councillor Burton, go ahead.
Ask that I bring my other issue back up during questions.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
The
yeah.
question is, if you want me to start working with Orsk, then you should approve it, and if you want me to wait, then we don't need to do anything.
Okay, so Jeff, I just wanted to know a little bit from the comment you made. You said you wanted to start the conversation with Orsk.
Right.
And then at which point is a committee, or at which point can Councillor Burton be part of those discussions?
Sure. One thing I don't know is how quickly Orsk is ready to mobilize. If it's tomorrow, then great. The other thing is do we just assign the MPC to
But
work
that's what
with
I'm
Orsk?
wondering.
which puts Councillor Burton there already. That,
Right.
Unless you want more councillors involved at this stage, then I know all of you are looking to take on planning related committee assignments. So, yes, I mean, if MPC is a natural choice or the councillor assigned to MPC is the natural choice and they're ready to go right away, I'm perfectly fine with that.
For me, it should be. Councillor Burton?
Well, I don't know that MPC as a whole is designed very well to deal with that. I think we could, you know, once there's a draft, we could give comments on it, but I don't know that they're really designed very well to come up with the bylaw. That's really, I think, council's responsibility to come up with it and then just to seek the comments of the MPC. So we could do it either way. We could say, okay, you know, don't assign me to it. When it's ready to go to MPC for comments, that could be involvement there, or we could assign me now. It's honestly whatever feels best to the rest of council.
I don't see a harm, Mayor, in assigning Councillor Burton and approving any appropriate per diems for working on the
Okay.
SP. I don't see a downside to
All
that in
right,
this meeting.
okay, so let's do that. I think I would prefer that personally. So can somebody make a motion?
And is it, how do you say that? ES?
The area structure plan, ASP.
ASP.
Okay, I make a motion to have Councillor Burton be on the ASP. Sure.
Review
Ad hoc review, going forward.
Is
And
that
any
okay?
per diems that,
Attached to it.
got this. Any per diems that go along with it, council will pay for it.
Okay, does that work? All in favor? Thank you. All right, thank you, Councillor, for extending your good services.
Jared, I sent you a picture.
All right,
Oh,
so
yes.
under 9,
See them every day.
under 9, Tyler, Gandam, Alberta municipalities. That was sent in April, apparently, from what I could see. So it's coming to us a little bit late.
Mayor, can I speak that?
Yeah.
That's partly my fault.
I'm
We did
sorry.
administratively participate in the
Okay, good.
webinars. I just wanted to point out something with this legislative change that will be back on your table, I'm quite sure. And we're in, of course, in how many years of the community we currently have a school looking to locate. We've fallen into this gray area now of legislation. So we currently do not have a JUPA with the
French,
Francophone school.
yeah.
The new legislation says that infrastructure will own all the land. So this has been very interesting to me because just a year or so ago, they changed to say, hey, towns and cities, you're going to continue to own the land as school reserve. You're going to make it school reserve and you're going to own it in perpetuity. And that way, if it ever is surplus, then you keep it and all that. And so we're going to do that by JUPAs. Okay, fine. The challenge there was, I'll try not to get too much on my soapbox here because I'm frustrated with it, but the challenge was that they said, but municipalities, you essentially have to give these schools whatever they want. So you're going to have to start collecting school reserve, and then when they need land, you have to basically turn it over, get it serviced, do everything you can to accommodate them. Okay, fine, as well to a point. Now they just changed the legislation to say going forward, infrastructure is going to own the land. Oh, and by the way, they're going to pay you market value for the land.
Oh,
And
gosh.
so you can sell it to them for market value. Well, this school was approved before this legislative change, so we're not entitled to market value for the land. And we're just, in fact, I'm meeting with, I'll get to that in a second. So we're in this strange spot of where we don't have a signed JUPA yet with them because they don't know what their facility is going to exactly look like and what the joint use might be. So it's all fine. No one's intentionally dragging feet on there. They just don't know what they're going to have yet. And then if this school is approved after this legislative change, then the province would be paying us market value for the land. And I like that a lot better, Councillor. I feel better. It just offsets that cost of extending utilities to the parcel, right? And so I've talked to the Francophone school, and I'll be careful. I don't want to openly negotiate anything, but I said, hopefully the province might have some money to assist with site preparation and utility extension in light of now they would pay us for the land that would help with that. So on Thursday, Brandon and I are meeting with them and their architect and their people as we look at the site a little closer for planning. So I'll know a little bit more after Thursday about exactly, you know, what all their capacity needs are and all that stuff. But I was just disappointed. This is a quick change from what it was just a couple of years ago. And it put us in a strange spot because the Francophone school was approved prior to this change. So we're not entitled to the land being purchased by the province. And maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe it's good that we keep it as municipal land in school reserve in the long term. That might be fine. But we're going to need some help as we're putting all the costs together to decamp the current yard and then to do site prep, fencing, utility provision. It's getting a lot. It's climbing quickly. And so that's part of our discussion on Thursday with the Francophone school and their land planning people.
Councillor Granger.
So we're looking at these long services on the south parcel.
Yeah.
Do you need a sewage lift station to get the sewage out of there? It'll
We
flow
don't.
by gravity?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure. Now,
All right.
the nice thing is, and again, as we're talking about area structure plans, so that school being there, which is certainly fine, and I think it's a good location for it, adjacent to our green space. I think that's really great, actually. And then the adjacent lots that we can service, they actually don't fit the East Area Structure Plan at all.
No.
And so you as a council are going to have some look at that once we get that done. But if we can open up some lots, which we're already seeing interest on, that will help offset utility extension costs for the school, which is great.
You were talking about those two parcels that we discussed.
Immediately south of the soccer park
It's,
on the east side. So that where our yard is, we have a laydown yard there.
Yeah, I know.
So that's where the
Would
schools.
be there then.
Yeah, that's where it's
on the
looking to be.
south
We
of
had talked
the
across the
park.
street at one time.
Yes, and that didn't happen. By the way, we
No,
couldn't acquire
it's
that.
a
Yeah,
different.
Question, Mayor, do we have to
Yes.
build and pave curb gutter in the road?
not right now, no, and that'll be part of the JUPA negotiation. Yeah, yeah. So again, I want to be very clear. Stefan DeLoof and the team from the Francophone School have been excellent. Great to work with, very professional. We get to meet their professionals on the engineering and planning side this Thursday, so we're looking forward to that. They're just what's the right word? They're caught in all these legislative changes too. This is not their fault by any means, and we want to still accommodate them. We think we have a good partnership there. But it's just been interesting timing for us because after, you know, decades and decades, a new school's approved right in this weird little place when legislation changed. So we're just navigating it. It's been very interesting.
Thank you very much. Okay. So now we have some correspondence. A legislative change. Minister of Service Alberta Red Tape Information Legislative change for your information. On the 9C Alberta Care Conference, it's about the recycling, I think, something like that. It's, I don't remember where it is.
Leduc.
It was in Westlock, I believe.
I thought it was Leduc. Anyway,
Let
yeah.
me see.
Westlock.
Yeah, it's in Westlock.
Personally,
So-
scrambling to attend, but it's up to you guys.
So I don't know if Councillor Granger, if you're interested or not. I don't know that. I don't know what I have, but
Emergency
Limited,
preparedness
in
and
my view.
whatnot.
I honestly, the golf course and all that, I'm thinking. All right.
So Mayor,
Yes.
it's 6:25. We've got some food coming at 6:30.
Okay.
It might be best to do all that before, without going in closed session. So if you want to take maybe a little 5-minute recess, Shem, we're planning on 6:30, aren't we? Yeah. So then the food can be here, then we can have
Okay.
our break,
All right.
and Peterson's will be here at 7.
Let's
I
do
couldn't get
that.
it done under questions, but this is my same old horse crap all over the road everywhere.
Oh, no, it's, you know what?
So what are we gonna do about it? We let them know, they still.
Do you have it under somewhere in your agenda?
I stuck it in there before we.
I'm not going to do anything about it. Just
Yeah.
don't allow them to do it.
I make a motion to take a 15-minute break.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you.
We sent them
Yeah.
letters already. And they
Councillor
I'll make a
Kenley.
motion
3 minutes.
to reconvene.
All in favor? Thank you. Now we need a motion
Motion.
to go on closed
Yeah,
session.
I make a motion to go in closed session.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay,
Motion to extend till 8:45.
yes, all in favor?
All in favor?
Okay, so mine was the first motion.
Go ahead.
And it was Jeff.
It
My
was a
motion.
Peterson
Oh, yes.
delegation.
I make a motion that to direct administration to reach out to Atco Gas in regards to the fire.
All in favor? Councillor. Okay, all right. So there is another one, Councillor Burton, regarding the rebate.
Regarding which?
The rebate property.
tired.
Bay property, you were gonna do a,
It's late in Mexico, by the way. You actually are at 11:40 p.m., aren't you, Counselor?
I'm having trouble hearing, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay, it's a rebate property, the one we need to buy back.
I was just saying it's 11:40 p.m. where you are, I think.
No, I'm on
Oh.
the west coast.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Is
No
buy-
sympathy.
Same as you are, just
Buyback
got sick.
with the legal fees, remember?
So, Mayor, there is a
So
res-
I make a motion that the town offered to repurchase, I didn't catch the name,
Okay,
but
hold on. Can you stop?
however it's,
Can you stop, Councillor?
If you could, there's an RFD in there that has the motion with the reserve amounts and the reserve accounts.
okay.
And then feel free to tack on the end about the legal costs. If you could, that would really make it clean for me. I think it's 10B.
Oh, no.
Guys, do you have it? Does anybody have it?
I've got it. I thought I was
Sean
supposed
does
to make
it,
that motion.
or
I have it,
Oh, yes,
Got it.
Councillor Granger.
she's got it,
okay.
go ahead.
I surely
Somebody.
screwed up,
somebody.
sorry. Okay, go for it.
Councilor Burton, go ahead.
Okay. I move that we transfer the sum of 36,641.48 plus the amount of anticipated legal fees. No,
No,
I wouldn't add that, would I?
Nope.
Those are to be
We're not
reimbursed.
transferring.
Count 294,590 for the land purchase to buy back 851 Second A Street West. And to pay 193.72 is the tax adjustment on that. And to require the owners of that property to pay our out-of-pocket legal costs associated with that transaction.
okay, good. All in favor?
You got it.
Oh, gosh.
And trades.
Yeah, I got this. I make a motion that we reach out to, can I say your name? I don't
Sure, it's fine.
That we reach out to Helen Schrade and let her know that we will be waiving the interest on the amount owing pending she continue to make monthly payments. If a monthly
Breaker.
payment is missed, then the full amount of the taxes that have been waived will be interest will be put back on. Word that up.
All in
Yes.
favor? Thank you. Next motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good holiday.